Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Dracollin here, bringing you the best and latest in the Majestic -8 Q400. I wanted to do a stormy weather flight. We don't get very many of these, unfortunately, in the summertime, but did happen to find just a little bit of stormy weather going on over towards the Minneapolis area. So we're going to see if we can catch some of that and ride it all the way down from Duluth into Minneapolis, St. Paul. There's a little bit going on over there in the UK right now, but unfortunately it's mostly just rain and a little bit of clouds. They don't really have any low visibility going on. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I really wanted to do a night flight with stormy weather in low visibility, but unfortunately not happening today. A lot of rain, of course, down in South America as usual, in the northern part of South America. It is always raining there. But unfortunately, the visibility is pretty much always pretty good there. So anyway, we're going to take just a quick flight. We're going to go out of Duluth and head on down to Minneapolis. And I want to see if we can catch this weather before it dies out. So let's get started. If you guys haven't caught my tutorial video on the Majestic -8 Q400, you can always hit that up on my YouTube channel, Kevin1873. It's a pretty in-depth tutorial about the Majestic -8, brought to you by my years of extensive flying of this awesome aircraft, as well as everything I was able to learn in the airline to sim. Tutorial videos. They have 10 awesome tutorial videos on the Majestic -8 Q400, and they are well worth a watch. I got my checklist here. I'm just going to start doing the pre-flight, and then we will go and do the flight deck safety checks. That reminds me, I do want to crank up. I can hear the thunder. Hear the thunder. That's good. So as we all know, the Majestic -8 Q400 has 4 lovely batteries: a master, the main, the auxiliary, and the standby. And if you don't know, I do have from Sim Market the immersive sound pack for the -8 Q400 installed. So if my sounds are a little different than yours, that is why. It is well worth the $10 purchase. I believe that's what it is. If you have a chance, definitely pick it up. Alright, let's do the power test on the APU and verify the fuel door is open. Light test is passed. Let's do the fire test. And that's good. Caution panel lights up, and let's go ahead and start the APU. Alright, generator's coming on. Let's just verify APU gen load is 1.13, and it should start coming down. And that's what we want to verify. It'll level off at about 0.96. So as long as it's coming down now, that's good, so we can continue on. And main bus tie goes to tie. And we want to verify that the engine intake doors are green. We want to warm up. Pilot side window heat will come on. And just a quick test. Let me turn both of these on real quick. Stand by. And the test is okay. We're good. Let's get some lights going so we can see a little bit better here. Alright, test number 1. Number 2. Do forward. All is good. We'll go normal, normal, manual. Position light comes on, arm. Fasten seatbelt signs will come on. Auto, minimum, recirc fan comes on, and that's it for the overhead. We're going to turn on number 1 and only number 1. Set FMS 1. VOR 2. Get rid of the caution, and there we go. APU gen is good. Looks like our temperatures are good, and our voltage for DC is good. Anti-skid comes on. Go ahead and accept. And let's just run through the checklist. Batteries are on and checked. Main bus tie is tied. APU is on. Battery temps are good. Bus voltages are good. Landing gear light we have down and 3 green. Engine intake doors are green and verified. The alt gear door inhibit switch is good. Landing gear alternate extension, good. Smoke and fire and smoke detection has been tested. Bleeds 1 and 2 are off. Recirc fan is on and verified. Pressurization is auto, and we will set landing altitude to 0 for now. AC packs are checked. Emergency lights armed. Fill transfer and quality is currently off, and we will do the load sheet in just a bit. Parking brake and pressure about 3,000, roughly 3,000 is good. Power and condition levers are disconnect, and condition levers are full off. No steering is off and verified. And this is where we start the setup for the FMS. It's basically going to be a quick flight. Not very. There is no standard term or standard instrument departure out of Duluth, so we're basically just going to fly to the first transition into Minneapolis. We're going to take the Milac via the Bainey 3. So we'll take off on runway 9 out of Duluth, and we'll be heading east, and we will turn southwest towards Milac and join the Bainey 3 arrival into Minneapolis, where we will be landing at runway 12 left. So nothing crazy. Before I do that, let's go ahead and do the weight and balance. We'll run through it real quick, and I'll show you how I like to set it up. So we can bring it up here. Alright, this is what we're looking at. So we're looking for a mean aerodynamic chord of around 30 to 36%. That's your sweet spot in the Dash 8. So it's a quick flight. We don't need a whole lot. So let's go ahead and start loading our passengers, and then I'm going to figure out the fuel. So in the aft I like to put 1,433 pounds in. And I like to carry about 50 passengers. We'll do 18 in the front, 14 in the middle front, 19 in the middle rear, and in the rear we'll do 9. Now for the DOM here, I do everything, which is our dry operating mass. I do everything in pounds. So for me, it's going to be 39,683. And our dry operating mass index is going to be 80.0. Alright? So if you're doing everything in kilograms, basically your dry operating mass is going to be 18,000, and the index is still going to be 80.0. So that'll be the only difference there. So we're done with that for right now. Let's go ahead and load SimBrief. And we got monitor 2 running there. So basically we're going to be Delta 501, and we're going to part out the dilute over to MSP. It looks like Des Moines is going to be our alternate. So we'll load Des Moines in. And the airframe is going to be where are you? Where are you? There we are. And we're not going to mess with the advanced aircraft options. Just going to leave those alone. We'll be departing out of runway 9. And we'll be coming in on the shorter runway at 12 left. Our taxi out will probably be 10 minutes. And I'm going to leave the taxi 8 at 10, just in case. No extra fuel. 18,000 feet. 50 passengers. Cargo I'll do 1.4. And the 0 fuel weight I will leave on auto. And instead of Bainey, we're going to do not that. We're going to do, I'll just type it in. Bainey 3. Do the analyze the route. Everything looks good there. Make sure we're in pounds. I want to save this flight, just in case I ever do it again. And we'll generate the flight plan. So here we have it. Duluth, direct to Malek, Bainey 3 to Minneapolis, 18,000, 240 at 22, so headwind, you know. Alright, international standard atmosphere is plus 12, so about a 41-minute flight, not too bad. True airspeed's not that great, but that's okay. 50 passengers, 1,400 pounds. And what I'm looking for is my trip fuel, which is going to be 1703. And my block fuel is going to be 6,200. It's a little bit more than I would care to carry. But that's quite all right. With those numbers figured out, we can go back. And our takeoff fuel 6,200 and our trip fuel 1703. I guess we can do the 60. Yeah, we'll just keep it at 6,200. Calculate, and we got a mean aerodynamic chord of 30.8, which is typically what I usually have. That's great. Happy with it. 56663 is going to be our 0 fill weight. Hopefully we're not cursed with the 666. And I'm going to send that to Flight Sim. And double check that I make sure. Yep, there we go. 6200. Fuel is loaded. And for now we are currently done with the control panel. We can always come back to it later. But for now we're good. And with that we can go ahead and start our ACARS flight. Just want to double check. 3771. Duluth, Minneapolis. Bainey Malak 12 left. 18,000. And we'll go ahead and start. So ACARS is good. The control panel is good. Come on, you little bugger. We get both of these rolling. It's on FMS, which is what we want it set to. And we're basically just going to go to flight plan. Yeah, before I do that, let's go ahead and 29R80. MDA is going to be $2,440. There we go. Let's see if we can brighten this up just a bit. Perfect. We got a message. Let's clear it out. Flight plan. Duluth. Enter twice. MSP. Enter twice. And that's it. So all we got to do is go to menu. Arrival. 12 left is number 2. The star is number 1. The transition is number 4. And let me pull up the approach. And see if we want to do ILS 12 left, ILS. And we have an option. We can do KQ. We can do CJ. That all depends on the arrival, and the arrival is column for KQ. Perfect. That is absolutely phenomenal. So we'll do number 2. Enter. Enter again. This no link we can leave in there because it'll be part of the missed approach. Everything else can go. What is your dealio, man? There you go. Alright. Let's get rid of you. Now we need... See how this... Well, you can't really tell right now because it's so far away anyway. But you see how this just goes straight to MSP? Because some people always wonder, why, what's going on? What did I do? I thought I entered everything right. What's going on here? Well, your first initial waypoint out of the departure airport needs to... basically just needs to be in magenta. So how do we select it? Simple. Let's go to nav. We want to go to Malak right after departure. So let's go to nav. So we're coming from Duluth, but we're not going straight to MSP. So you need to select 2 left. And then from the list you need to select the first waypoint. So number 2, I'll do enter. Go back to flight plan, and now, bam! Everything's set up. Very simple. There you go. If you're doing an RNAV out of somewhere, for whatever, you just want to make sure your first waypoint is highlighted in magenta, and you just do that under the nav section. The next thing I want to do is verify that my altitudes are set up correctly for the VNAV approach. We can do it now, or we can do it in flight. Either way, it's not a big deal. 20,000 setup. For Bainey, I want to do 15,000. Not 1,500. And we have Bainey in twice. So let's just dump one of them. It'll do that every once in a while. It's not often, but it does happen. Lucy, we need to be above 11,000, so we're fine there. Sugar's okay. Do we have sugar twice? It looks like we have sugar twice, maybe? We do. We need to get rid of one of them. And this is really why you got to go through everything in the Dash 8. It will sneak stuff in on you that you don't want. $8,000 over a glove. And then for KQ, we just need to basically be at 7,000. So everything's set up. That's fine. We will still have to do our VNAV setup. Our vertical navigation path once we're in the air. No problem. We can do that later. Alright, basically that's it for the flight plan. It's all done, it's all in, it's all verified, looks good. We have Malak set up as our first waypoint after departure. Now we can set up our fuel. Fuel to the alternate is going to be 20. That's why we're carrying so much fuel. The fuel that we need to get to the alternate is pretty much more than the fuel we need to get to our destination. So 2337. Our hold fuel is going to be, where are you hiding? There you are, 1435. The extra is going to be 613. And that's it. Fuel on board right now is currently, we're just going to do 3100. 3100 for now, and we will come back and change this. Return. 0 fill weight is the number we had earlier. 56663. And that's it. That's all we needed to do for fill. The performance and everything will figure itself out. So flight plan is done. Closest VOR to Minneapolis-St. Paul is going to be Gopher, so I'm going to load it into VOR 2. Even though it says ILS 2. So it'll be 117.3. Get down there. We'll change it there. Because FMS1 is going, or VOR1 is going to be set up on FMS1. Which we need to change our nav source to FMS1. And this will give us basically everything we have here. FMS 1226 degrees to Malak, the distance and the time from our origin to Malak. The last thing we need to do is figure out what our speeds are going to be. And for that, we are going to turn to a very trusted site that I like to use, which is Orisim. So you can go to orisim.com, you can set up an account, it's completely free. And this will give you the -8 Q400 speeds that you will need for takeoff and landing. We just click on Performance, Airport Search, Duluth, we'll select Duluth. Runway 9, condition list is currently dry. We can do normal takeoff power. Flap setting is going to be 15. Anti-ice is going to be off. Let's get the weather. Yep, that's it. And we'll do 56663 for our takeoff weight. And we'll do calculate. And here we go. That's what we have there. V1 111, rotates 111. And V2, single engine climb is going to be 112. Flap retraction is going to be 124. And our V climb during single engine operation is going to be 147. So all we got to do is plug those numbers. And we'll select and do 111. Rotates 111. V2 is 112. Flap retraction is 124. And our single engine V climb 147. Easy peasy. Sim brief is done. The weather part is done. We'll leave Orisim up because we'll use those. We'll use that same calculation to figure out our landing speed once we get to Minneapolis. And that's basically it. We have our FMS set up. We have our speed set up. So basically what we need to do now is just set up the auto throttle. Correction, the MCP. There is no auto throttle on the Dash 8. Before I do that though, what I want to do is set our OBS real quick for ILS 12 left, which is 121. So that way we don't have to do it in the air. I'll show you how we do it. I'll show you how you can do it in the air. Just the same too once we get there. But for now I want to set it up. And we'll go back to 1. And the heading we want to set for the runway, which is 090. Altitude, we got no altitude restriction, so it's basically going to be up to 180. Alright. And there's a couple of things we need to do. We need to actually hit the toga to get the flight director going. There we go. We see wings level and GA, but what we want is heading, altitude select. That's what you want to see on the primary flight displays. Heading select, go around, and altitude select. If you don't have that set, then you're going to have a bad time. you're gonna have a bad day. Before start, trims are set. I keep them at default on startup, so they're right where I want them to be. Door and fuel lights. Doors are all green, so we're good. Passenger signs are on. Cabin reports received. Flight deck doors closed and locked. ACAL lights are going to go to red. Let the ground crew know we are ready for engine start. APU bleed is off, and it's off. APU bleed is off. Batteries and bus volts we want to verify again. And there we go, at least 26 volts. Temperatures are looking good. The APU gen load is great. So the last thing I'm going to do here is go back to fuel, and I want to set in on page 1 our actual fuel on board, 3070. And 3100. Enter. Back to flight plan. And that's it. Well, looks like we are good to go. I want to do an auto feather test. And it'll basically just run through a test, let you know that it's in progress. Looks like we're going to push back here. Tail's going to be to the west. And Alpha all the way to runway 9. Simple. Passed. So we're good there. Comes off.
Glide slope.
We'll do one more quick test
Pull
here.
up. Terrain, terrain. Pull up.
I'm going to do one more scan of the overhead. Make sure normal. We're ready for pushback.
Ground, we are ready for pushback.
We are ready now, please release parking brake.
Parking brakes released.
Pushing back now, you're clear to start the engine number 2.
Alright, so we'll select number 2. Press start. Condition lever goes to feather. Start in feather. Clear the caution panel out. We're basically just looking at the inline turbine temperature. We're looking at the fuel flow. Watching the PSI and the temperature. Here we go. This pushback's going to be kind of quick. There we go. Engine starts good. Want to make sure the inline turbine temperature doesn't pass through 400. If it continues through 400 and reaches to about 450, then you've got a hot start and you want to kill that sucker immediately. Fuel flow's good, prop's good, PSI's good, temperature's good. Let's start the right-hand turn. Let's go ahead and end it there. I did say end, didn't I? Should have started that a little earlier.
Pushback completed. Set the parking brake.
Parking brake is set.
Parking brake set. Can we get clearance on number 1?
The tow is free and clear of nose gear. Clear to start the engine number 1. Have a nice flight.
Select number 1. Start select. Number 1 condition lever goes to start and feather. Kill the caution and warning. Same thing. Watch the ITT. Keep an eye on the fuel flow. NH is coming up. Watching the oil pressure and oil temperature. We're just looking for a good start. Going through 370, 380, 390. Slowing down, which is good. It's what we want to see. 400. Looks like we're doing good. If it was still climbing past 450, like I said, we want to go ahead and shut it down. So we got a good start. Pressure's looking good on both sides. Temperature is coming up on number 1. Temperature looks good on the right side. Fuel flow is good. NH is good. Torque is good. Alright. After start checklist. External power APU is coming off. Main bus tie is coming off. Check the electrics. Temperatures are good for that. Bus volts are good for DC. And condition levers are coming full. And we'll just watch the temperatures and the bus voltage. Alright, looking good. We're around 26. Load's looking good. TRU is good. DC is good. That beautiful sound. And they're holding 115, 116. Temperatures are looking great. Auto feather is selected white and verified on the engine display. Fuel pumps are on. Standby hydraulic and PTU is coming on. Flaps 15. That's the after start checklist. We'll do the taxi checklist during the taxi. Brakes are good. Takeoff warning is good. Flight instruments are good. Let's check the rate of travel on number 3. Good. Let's get rid of that pressure. There we go. The yaw damper is coming on. Clearance reviewed. Cabin is secured. Alpha all the way down to runway 9. Clear left. Clear right. Spoilers to flight. We're going to be intersection departure today. Make all lights to white. Landing gear lights are coming on. Pitot-static and ISO valves are coming on. Bleeds are minimum and bleeds 1 and 2 are off. We have heading, GA, and altitude select on. Caution panel is black. We're ready to go. Clear on the left. Think we're clear on the right. Knots. Rotate. Got a positive right. Up's coming up. All right. There's 1,000 feet. So 1, 2, on, off, off. Start our right-hand turn over to Malak. Get on the flight director. Alright, landing gear is up, flaps are up and 0. Bleeds are on and normal. Climb power is set. Climb about 165. We got LNAV in. We're going to climb to flight level 180 at 165 knots. So far everything's looking pretty good. Caution panel's still good. Looks like a lot of that stormy weather sadly has dissipated. minus 10,000. So lights can come off. Seatbelt signs can come up. So far so good. Climb's good. Altitude select is verified, otherwise we'll keep going right past 180. The fuel balance is good. Problems with ice, so that's good. Typical climb, everything so far is good. 17 minutes out from Malak, and not too long after Malak, we'll actually start our descent onto the Bainey 3 into Minneapolis. A pretty chill flight so far. Nope, ice detected. Oh boy, do we have ice building up? Can't really see it yet. There it is. There's the ice. So airframe mode selector to fast, on, and on. Yeah, we'll just verify that it's running through the cycle. It's doing its thing. Alright, we're 1,000 feet away. Climb's pretty good. The headwind helps. So we will altimeter set to 29902. Price protection is as required. Let's see what else. Standby hydraulic and PTUs are all normal. Fuel pumps are off, and auto feather is off. And condition levers come back to cruise, 850. And we'll just verify 850 on the engine display. And that's good. If we need to turn down just a tad. Perfect, and we're 10 minutes away. So we need to be at 15,000 by Bainey, so let's set up our VNav vertical navigation path. So we'll do 2. We'll do number 2. We already know, everyone knows it knows we already want to be at 15,000, but we're going to do 1,500. A little more comfortable of a descent. Enter twice, message, and we've got 11 minutes until the top of descent. It's pretty simple. And good speed. Like the engines are just a little too loud still. That I'll probably have to change in the CFG. You know what, that sound is probably actually more or less the environment. There we go. It gets rid of a little bit of that background noise we have going on. Alright, so we need to look at our airport elevation into Minneapolis. 841 feet. About right there. About as close as we're gonna get. So we still got ice. So we're gonna leave the ice detection settings where they are. Ice protection. Tongue tied there. And our DA is going to go down to 200. MDA will be 200. Our approach speed is going to be 115, and our single engine climb out. This approach is going to be 147. VNav, 8 minutes. Taking a quick screenshot for the YouTube video. Our pressurization set, ground proximity 1 and flaps are set to 15. We will do the briefing. It looks like localizer is going to be 110.7. And VOR2 hasn't even picked up yet, so I'm going to leave that there for now. Approach course is going to be 121, which I have the approach course set in. What is our current heading right now? So if you want to set in the air, just set your heading or whatever you're doing right now. We're doing 229 heading towards Mille Lacs. So let's do, here we go, 229. Alright, so it's set. Basically, we'll select heading. The airplane will fly in heading mode. We can change our nav source back to ILS-1. You set your OBS course in to 121. And then once you have the OBS course in, you're fine. So that you can go back to FMS1, go back to LNAV, and continue flying. Very simple. So let's see here. Altitude over Washi is going to be 3,000. Decision heights, decision altitude's 200 feet. We have the airport elevation at 841 for the touchdown zone ending. For the missed approach, it's climbed at 1,300 feet. Then climbing left at 3,096. We'll take it to Minneapolis VOR, the radial 096 to Kanak intersection. And we can do a simple teardrop entry. It's 13.1 from Minneapolis, and we'll hold. Right on. So we need to be at Keifu. We need to be at 5,000. Right. And we're 3 minutes away. So let's go ahead and set in 15. Actually, well, because we're going to keep going down, so let's set our altitude. Sorry, wrong one. Not the heady bug. Set our altitude to 11,000. And we'll hit altitude select. If you do not hit that, it will continue to descend below 11,000 and you will miss your target altitude. You have to set your altitude and then select altitude select. Altitude, altitude select. If you don't do that, the plane will either keep descending or continue climbing beyond the altitude you have set. Let's bring that in one. Alright. There's our vertical nav bar right there as soon as it starts coming down. And like I said, there's no auto throttle on this thing, so power is all up to you. You can use the autopilot to control the pitch, but the power is all on you. And today, we're going to land with props 850. Let's see how that landing goes. We'll just keep it at 850. Something I've been wanting to test out for a while now. And we're 1 minute out. Once we start seeing the magenta vertical nav bar sliding down, that's when you know you need to descend. It's unfortunate that most of the stormy weather kind of dissipated. You know, it's hard this time of year to find bad weather. It really is. It's one of my favorite things to do on the Dash 8 is just fly around and look for bad weather. But today we gotta take what we can get. So ice is still out there, so we still got the ice protection going. We're 5.8 from the top of the descent. Speed's good. I mean, we're not doing too bad. We were estimated ground speed was 325, And 322, you know, the headwind's a little bit stronger than they thought it would be. So that matches. And it's, yeah, it's pretty accurate from what they said it would be. As far as the direction goes, the direction's spot on. A little bit more of a headwind than we expected, about 5 knots. We expected about 20 to 22 knots of headwind. And there's the vertical alert right there, and you can see the magenta bar is coming down. So all we have to do is hit VS. Let's bring her down, not that much. So there's the pitch, back comes the power. We want to do about 220 in the descent if we can. And for now the ice warning has gone off, so we can turn the ice protection off. And we're going below 18,000 feet. And it looks like Minneapolis is 130 at 10 statute miles, fuel 7,500, scattered 11,000, overcast 15,000, 2422, 2974. We don't need to descend too fast. Rain ended 29 minutes past the hour. Sea level pressure is 64. Any second now, we'll start turning towards Lucy. We're ready to be at 11,000. Speed's still coming down, which is good. We want to try and hold about 220 if we can. Alright, for the approach, altimeter is set. Fuel transfer is off. And we'll continue below the line after we have established. After we get below 10,000 feet, we'll continue below the line. If anybody's curious, if you want to look, I've got Navigraph set up as well, and you can see we're following right along on Navigraph. On the Bane 3 arrival. Landing 1-2 left and right. So from Sugar, we'll track 181 to Oglove. Then on track 181 to KQ, we could expect the RNAV, GPS, or ILS approach, radar vectors, final approach. Basically, KQ is going to set us it's going to set us up basically to join the ILS 1-2 left. I wish what I could do some region. Yeah, I have to mess around with that more. 1080. Yeah, see, it doesn't quite work. I'm gonna have to mess around with that before before we get it working better. So here we are coming up to 11,000. And I need to be at 8,000 over sugar, so let's continue the altitude down. We need to be at 8,000 above Oak Glove, so come on, you little burger, get down there. Altitude select. Since they're so close together, it's a little stormy up there. Feel the wind pushing us around. I can't feel it, I can see it. Fuel transfer's off, fuel pumps are coming on. Standby hydraulic and PTU are coming on. Hydraulics are checked. Passenger signs are coming on. Caution panel is black. Cabin is secure. Approach checklist complete. And VOR2's picked up. There we go, 16.2. From Gopher. Let's go ahead and switch it over to ILS. And we need to be... What's next? 7,000 at KQ. Alright. Altitude select, there we go, otherwise we're going to miss it. Let's continue on down. To 5,000, altitude select. Wait a minute and see what happens. After we pass Oak Glove, we're going to want to descend again. There we go. And power back. Not too much. And we're just about to KQ, so let's go ahead and bring up the instrument approach chart. We've got 110.7 in. Approach course will be 121. Our landing lights are on. Ice protections as required. We're going to keep it 850 on the condition lever. Bleeds 1 and 2 are off and bleed set to minimum. And we're just about to hit 5,000. We want to continue down to 3,000. So altitude select. There we go. 1,000 feet per minute's good enough. And our minimum safe altitude for the area is 3,500 feet, so we are good to go to continue to descend down. It's like the airport is in sight. Let's go ahead and open. There's our 1,000 mark. So far everything is looking good. We're going to turn toward Hamel. Actually, we're going to... It didn't have Hamel in there, did it?
2,500.
Yes, it did. There it is. But it thinks we already crossed it, which we haven't. We have not actually crossed Hamel. Let's see here. Let's keep... Let's do 160. Let's do heading select. Nav source goes to ILS 1. We'll keep that turn coming in. 150. Glide slope's looking good. We'll bring the speed up. Hold her at 180. Keep that turn coming in. 140. Let's go with flaps 1. doing good. Let's keep the turn coming in. 130. Don't need you anymore. Yeah, I do. I do want to know what the winds are doing. Alright. Hold 130 for a bit. We're just about lined up. ILS 12 left. Into Minneapolis. Ooh, winds change. Just a tad. She's coming over. Just a little bit more. Yep, just a little bit more. Trying to hold about 180. And we got the missed approach altitude set. There we go. Let's go ahead and go to approach. We'll hold localizer. Gears coming down. Not sure why the speed jumped up there. There's the outer marker. 6.1. Altitude's looking good. We're just right on it. Need to come left a wee bit more. Bring the speed back. That's why that descent. The autopilot came in heavy on that descent. Caused our speed to bounce up. Let's go ahead and get it back because we're within 5 nautical miles. We need to come back real strong now. There's 172. Now our speed will drop.
1,000.
Flips 15. Go flaps. Flaps 35. There we go.
$500.
Alright, autopilot's coming off. Because she's doing some funky stuff.
Plus 100.
Get her back over here and get our altitude set up right.
Minimum.
There we go. There we go.
100.
Sync rate.
I know, I see it. I
40.
see it.
30. 20. 10.
There we go, there we go. Awesome. Not too bad, not too bad. Alright, manual braking's coming on. good. Very, very good. The autopilot's always doing something crazy on landing, so not too bad, not too bad. It was a good landing at 850. I liked it, I liked it. It was really nice. Call lights coming to red. Everything else upstairs is good. Caution's off. Standby hydraulic and PTU's coming off. Pumps coming off. Message is cleared. Gust log's coming on. So control lock's on. ACO lights are red. Flaps are 0. Weather radar is going to standby. Fuel pumps are off. Flight/taxi is taxi. Ice protection's off. Main bus tie is coming on. Go ahead and do our lights test. Lights test's good. Let's go ahead and start the APU. And yaw damper is coming on. Welcome to Minneapolis, St. Paul. An awesome flight in the Dash 8 Q400. It was a good flight. I promise to try harder next time, and finding that stormy weather, that was kind of disappointing. I mean, I was going basically off of some METARs, some TAFs, and it looks like the weather got better than it was projected to, unfortunately. It just is what it is. And we can park straight ahead. And let's turn our taxi light off. Overall, very happy with the flight. A lot of fun. Can never go wrong in this aircraft. Let's stop there. Let's turn the generator on. Go ahead and kill the engines. Alright, I think it's caution lights had its heyday. Never mind. And she's off. That was an awesome flight. Thanks for joining, guys. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Of course, as always, this will be up on my YouTube channel, Kevin1873. You can always follow me on Twitter, Dracollin1873. Once again, I'm Dracollin. I hope you guys have an amazing morning, just a wonderful afternoon, and an immaculate evening. And I'll catch you on the next one.